And moving onward to Michael Trevino, who plays Tyler in The Vampire Diaries. Immediately, there is quite a presence in the eyes. Doesn't look like we've got a hugely defined brow, but, does seem to be there. We've got quite a high, pronounced cheekbone. Not an overly strong facial structure altogether. Quite a wide mouth as well, which is more of a male trait. Fairly pronounced feature, like the nose. Quite a small ear. Alright, so here we've got a very boxy, straight-looking figure, and very straight, male-looking legs, and a proportionally longer torso compared to them male-proportioned leg lengths. Hands looking pretty big, shoulders looking square across, shoulders wider than the hips. No odd curving going on. Long forehead. Pretty strong facial structure. Pretty thick neck. Okay, so here, got some fairly convincing facial hair. Male-looking hairline, and features just all looking pretty male to me. Especially the eyes. Alright, shoulders again wider than the hips. Legs not having a curve to them. Adonis but looking pretty natural. This shape does look male to me. He's obviously a built person, but, the shape here doesn't look strange. I'm thinking it looks pretty natural. I think he's got some, I'm not actually sure if it's Hispanic or Italian or what, but from some of those places that, well, if he's American and he's got something Hispanic from Mexico or, Puerto Rico or any of those regions of the world, sometimes they're mixed in with the First Nations people, and all of those body types tend to be a bit slighter. And again, the same sort of deal if he's got ancestry that's from Europe, in Italy or Spain. Typically kind of more tanned, slighter, shorter people. So, the shoulders are squared across. The slope is born of muscle, but not a kind of female appearance. Yeah, he's got a pretty big mouth. Looks pretty natural to me. It's a quite small Adam's apple, that's for sure. There's quite a effeminate look here overall. Again, pretty effeminate look at the face. But the body, very masculine looking body. Broad shoulders and the narrow hips. I don't think you can fake that, really. Yeah, all the facial dimensions do look very male, despite being quite soft and female at times as well. Alright, so here we've got a shape to the body, a curve to the back, that is barely there, consistent with muscular males. He's very bulky, but, doesn't look really unnatural to me. Leg shape looking pretty male. Yeah, you're not seeing too much curve where there shouldn't be. Again, back has only the musculature that you see, and lower back totally straight down. So I suppose he's about 5'9". She's 5'8". They've got about the same size skull, so I think we've got ourselves two blokes right here. Quite a lot of features are more projected off the face, fairly long neck. Yeah, again, the facial dimensions, space here, length here, quite a sharp angle. It is more masculine than feminine. Yeah, we've got a kind of mixed appearance with a bit of a curved head and a brow bone. But usually the FDMs have a stranger look than this. This is still possible to me. There's that kind of chiseled appearance that you just don't find on girls. And I've mentioned it before, but I really do think, my generation, we've all been eating so many hormones and chemicals in the food supply, and there's hormones in the water supply. We are basically pumped full of hormones from birth. So I've noticed that a lot of boys around my age will be not very masculine looking. I recall when I was a little girl, men had just such a more rugged look to them. Like, men usually had really big, strong, broad hands that I talk about, and a lot of the time they had a lot more body hair than you often see on boys these days. Like, just even arm hair, I recall seeing so many men with thick arm hair, and then when I grew up, we don't seem to be seeing that so much anymore. So I do think the average young man these days and young woman were a bit either feminized or masculinized the wrong way. It's different extents in different people. But I do think that he's consistent with a lot of young guys I've known having a bit of a feminine look, but still having mostly masculine traits. So I don't think that every person is transgendered. I don't think there's a huge population of secret transgenders living amongst us. I mean, I think depending on what area of the world you live in, yes, probably. There are probably especially some places in America and Canada, maybe Australia, where there are a lot more of these, probably a lot of big cities around the world. And in the media, definitely I would say the A-list stars, probably almost every single one of them, is a transgendered person. But for TV stars and some of the supporting actors in film, you do still see some people who are passable as real people. And why wouldn't they use those ones as the leading film actors if they were really just trying to pass them off as believable? There's something else going on to that agenda, of course. But I do think that, someone like him is consistent with my generation, so again, male musculature, you can see Adonis belt, and yeah, overall this is just, it looks male to me. I'm pretty sure you could fit 3 head widths on these shoulders. Don't know what this pose is supposed to be, but yeah, judging from the finger length, I would say they're probably about the same. A lot of people seem to have something about the same these days, not very telling, but face, so male. Yeah, he does have a male energy in the eyes as well. I could be wrong, I could always be wrong, but personally to me I do feel like I see that. Does seem to have the eye size difference, but people I know who aren't transgenders do have that as well, so it's not, we can't take any one rule and say it is the rule. That's dangerous, to say that one rule is the rule. We have to be very cautious when making our judgments on this, because we don't want to lead ourselves and other people away into false beliefs again. And that's why, yet again, I want to say, people, you've got to decide for yourself, look at the evidence, decide for yourself, don't trust anyone who's making these videos to make the decision for you. You have got to decide for yourself what you believe. Here a bit younger, kind of getting a Keanu Reeves vibe here. but, you know, looking like a younger teenage boy to me. Again, with the back that goes straight down. The legs that look very straight. Pretty male-sized feet, as far as I can tell. This guy can't keep his clothes on, sheesh. But, yeah. This looks like such a male body. Either they've done an incredible job doing a believable FTM, or, you know, I don't know. But yeah, pretty lean, muscular-looking male legs, backside and hip shape looking male, torso shape looking male, you know. This whole look. It does have an effeminate look to the face, I know people will say, but there's something girly. Well, at the same time, some of the features are girly, but some are not girly. Compared to the other FTM from the show that I covered, I gotta say, someone like that you can tell is FTM, I'm inclined to believe is FTM, but if you can't tell, I'm not gonna believe it, so. And again, quite the energy in the eyes. Pretty eyes, but a lot of male energy. This bone structure just looks pretty male to me. Width of the mouth. Yeah, he's got an admixture of traits, but still, the consistent shoulders being wider than the hips. Arms look pretty long. Neck pretty thick. Male skull with all the male facial traits that I've mentioned. And again, the shape of the shoulders and the width of the shoulders. So yeah, I'm gonna say, based on all of the traits that we've just looked at, I do think Michael Trevino is a biological male. I'm convinced by this person, by this person's energy, by this person's traits. And that's that.